de connexion. OK. Fait que là, on est supposé d'être live.
Ouais,
Mhm.
9, 10.
Yes. Oui, on est live. Parfait. All right. Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm fine, Catherine. How about you, honey?
I'm really good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm getting a lot of promotions in the last week.
Good, good,
Yeah,
good.
I've been getting a lot of them. So I'm just gonna say it in French and in English. So for everybody that's in here, that's gonna be watching us, you can ask your questions in the comment section, and you can ask Mary any question related to her work. Pour tout le monde qui nous regarde présentement ou qui vont nous regarder, vous pouvez poser des questions dans la section des commentaires. Et puis, on va les recevoir puis on va les répondre. All right. So, yes. So, Mary, talk about you. We want to hear about
Actually,
you.
I would love to share something.
Yes.
Yesterday, I don't know if you know that it was a full moon yesterday. It was July 13. And
Yes.
not
Yes.
long ago, I did post on my Facebook
Yeah.
a little message that I did channel that night. It was just one of these nights where I was just alone and I had a nice fire, and I channeled this message. And yesterday was a full moon, and um, we were 11 women,
Okay.
which among the 11 women, I think were maybe 4 or 5. We have our own drums that we made. We
Yeah.
had an elder, a grandmother.
Okay.
I know she told me her tribe, but I can't remember. And
Uh-huh.
she did some teaching, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful evening. And the group actually of ladies, we've been doing meditation and we've been doing light work for the past 8, 9 years together. So
Wow.
it was just and we had a potluck, of course, and the food and everything else. So it was just a magical, and the energy was just incredible yesterday. So I hope everybody, we couldn't see the moon where we were. So I
Yeah.
hope that, and it's the buck moon. So if you're feeling a little bit edgy, if you're having a little bit of butt heads with your loved ones or your partner, or it's normal. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know if you look at the buck, he has this horn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do this. So we have to check the energy of the moon all the time.
Okay.
um, I know I'm very affected with the moon.
Yeah.
When I start getting restless, when I start having sleepless nights, I will check when is the full moon, and it's usually between 10 to 2 weeks before actually the full moon happens that the energy start moving.
Yeah.
So this is just, I'm putting this out there because some people don't understand, why do I feel like this, why this is happening at that time of the month. For women, yes, I can understand because we go with the cycle of the moon. Most women do go with the cycle, as normal
Yeah.
as it is. For men, they can get a little bit down, they don't know what they want, maybe they're arguing, maybe they look at the ones that, oh, what I'm doing here, God knows. But before we make any big decisions, just check if it's a full moon and
Mm-hmm.
wait until the energy. It takes 3 days for the full moon to kind of rest,
Yeah.
and then make your decision. Don't rush into it. Don't rush
Yeah,
into
and it's something that we've talked about before because you've been helping me in my spiritual path for a little while now. And I've asked you a couple of times, like, I felt really overwhelmed and like freaking out about stuff. And like, I was like, okay, Mary, I need your help right now. What's happening? And you've been helping me a lot with that. That's
Well,
crazy.
I hope that you're feeling better. This is
Yeah,
very important. This is very important for me, and for all the group of ladies that we were together yesterday. We're all light worker,
yeah,
and we need to put this out there. we
yeah,
we we need to reinforce the light and reinforce the positive, and not to be afraid of government, not to be afraid of authority, not to be afraid, because the word fear itself,
mm-hmm.
it paralyzes us. I don't know if
Yeah,
people understand that, but when we are afraid of something, We
Mhm.
become paralyzed because we can't think. We don't know,
Yep.
do we go right, do we go left, or what do we do? So we're lost. But
Yep.
if we have faith, and actually, this is something I do a lot in my reading, and I tell people, I said, put the two words one next to another:
Mhm.
fear and faith.
Yep.
You eliminate the fear is because your faith is so strong that is overwhelming the fear. But if your fear is overwhelming your faith, then you're really going to be in trouble.
Yep.
So, and I do understand it's not easy to live like that. Like, it took me a whole lifetime to understand that. And that's why I want to share this with the young people. I want to tell them, don't be afraid. When I was your age, don't be. I wish somebody was there to tell me the same thing that I'm. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. Somebody was there to help you, and now it's your turn to help others. So just to be clear with everybody that's just joined, because we have some more viewers right now, if you have any questions to ask Mary, you can ask them in the chat and we'll receive them. We'll ask the question and we'll answer them. So don't be shy. If you have anything to ask her about her work, you can do it. That's for her to answer you. Pour tout le monde qui vient de se joindre à nous, si vous voulez poser des questions à Mary, vous pouvez lui demander ce que vous voulez, en français ou en anglais. On va lui répondre à votre question du mieux qu'on peut. Right.
on
So,
va essayer en tout cas.
so I'm just gonna ask you some questions. I'm gonna try to ask the questions both in English and in French so that we all understand each other. So one of my questions for you is, I want you to talk to us about how it started, because I've seen a video that you've made years ago on YouTube, and with I don't remember the person that made it with you, but it was about your story, where you come from, and how it started and everything. And I would like you to talk to us about it. Pour tout le monde qui parle français. Donc, j'aimerais que Mary nous parle un peu de d'où elle vient, comment tout a commencé pour elle. Yeah, so if you could just explain that for us.
Um, Actually, I have to say, since the age of, I can remember, like I was 5 years old, and I believe this is when I get my first intuition, my first vision.
Mhm.
But before I go into this, I wasn't born in Canada. I was born in Cairo, Egypt.
Yeah.
And if anybody knows Egypt, it's a very, very, very old country.
Mhm.
There's a lot of energy. Like when you walk the streets, when you walk the temples, as I visited Egypt as an adult, um, it's just incredible, the energy. So now I understand as a child, because when my parents came to Canada, I was only 13 years old.
Yeah.
So, and believe me, at that time, 13 years old, we were so naive, we didn't know anything. So, but I remember at the age of 5 years old, having vision and feelings and talking to my mom about it. And mom was really afraid of spirits, and she didn't really wanted that around her, kind of thing. Like I said,
Mhm.
fear, what it does, it blocks you, right?
Yeah.
It paralyzes you.
Mhm.
So I really didn't see as it was different, because at the age of 5 you don't realize if what you're seeing is really in this physical, or it's somebody from the spirit world. So for
Yeah.
me, it doesn't matter, I see them. And I used to talk, and mom used to look at me, and it's like, but as 5 years old she didn't say anything, and it went on, and we didn't pay attention to it, because then I remember very clearly, because I was in first grade. And in Egypt, the first trip you take, they take you to the pyramid. I mean, when you're in school, this is the first trip you go.
Yeah.
So here I am, 6 years old, and we going to visit the pyramid, and we're in the big pyramid, with the Khufu pyramid, which is the king that discovered actually the astro planet, the astrology planet.
Yeah.
And we're going up, and the stairs, they're very narrow. Like when you go to the chamber of the king, it's very narrow. Now
Yeah.
you can't go inside. It's forbidden, because to
Mhm.
preserve the pyramid. But anyway, as we're going up, I remember going up the stairs, but I
Yeah.
don't remember anything after that.
That's
When I came back to it, I was sitting outside on the rock, and my
Uh-huh.
sister was next to me, and she was calling my name. And I looked at her and I smiled, and she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah." And I looked around and I said, "What happened?" And she said, "We don't know what happened." She said, "You were going up the stairs, and all of a sudden, you just froze. That froze. We couldn't move you."
Yeah.
I don't recall that. I don't recall any of that. I only recall that I was going up the stairs, and the next thing, I saw myself outside.
Yeah.
Later on in life, when I become an adult and I start researching my gift, because I thought I was going crazy. But you
Yeah.
have to understand, my era, we didn't talk about that. Like, way
Yeah.
back when, people like me, they used to burn.
Yeah.
You understand? This is witch. This is like, you don't
Yeah.
talk. And even my mom used to tell me, if you keep on talking like this, you're gonna end up with the crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You just don't. So I spent my whole life battling this gift of mine that I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
Then I started having, vision, and I remember seeing a vision about my grandfather, and I will never forget that, because exactly a week later, my grandfather passed away.
Wow.
And I went to my mom and I told her my vision, and I said, "Grandpa's gonna die." And
Mm-hmm.
that was her father, and she wasn't happy about that, of course. But
Yeah,
a
no, for
week
sure.
later, he really passed away.
That's
Another
crazy.
time, I remember having a vision about my father, and I
Mm-hmm.
told my mom about it. And I was about 7 years old. So between 6 and 7, I was having a lot of vision. But because I was afraid that they're gonna lock me up, I had to kind of close all this down.
Yeah.
Then between the age of 7 and 8, in Egypt there is a church called the Zaytun Church.
Okay.
And in that church, they actually, from 1967 to 1968, there was over 40 million people that they had come to that church to see the apparition of the Virgin Mary. You can Google it. It's on
Yeah.
the internet. It's written everywhere.
I've
Anybody
heard
can.
about it in a documentary, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my parents are Muslim,
Yeah.
but the building we're living in, most of the neighbors, they were Christian. And we have
Okay.
Christian Catholic, we have Christian Orthodox, we have Christian Maronite, we have different, there's different, and we have Christian Copt, but they're all Christian.
Okay.
So the neighbor had two children our age that, friends would play. So they were going to see the Virgin Mary. I wanted to go. Mom said, "No, it's a school night. You have to go like 11, 12 o'clock at night." So
Yeah.
mom said, "No, you're not going." So I went to bed and I was very upset at my mom, and I started to cry. And then I heard my name. So I thought maybe mom had mercy on me and she's going to let me go with my friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I'm turning to the window, don't I see the light of the Virgin Mary in my room? I was 8 years.
Wow.
Catherine, I couldn't look at her. The light was so strong that I dropped down to my knees.
Uh-huh.
And she gave me a lot of message, but the only message that stayed with me, she first of all, she gave me her hand and she said, "Whatever you need me, call my name."
Mm-hmm.
And when she said that, I promised her that I will carry her name, and that's why my name is Mary. Because Mary is not the name that my parents gave me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at my other name, Iman, which is faith.
Yeah. So
So
you were meant to do this work. You're literally meant to do this work. Um,
I understood that. That's my purpose. And
yeah.
everybody's purpose is love. It's the bottom line, it's love.
It
Love
is.
each other, forgive each other, help each other, don't judge each other.
Mhm.
Just put love. If
Yeah,
just people stop and love each other, guess what? It would be paradise, actually. It's
it
my
would.
dream, but I don't know if I'm gonna conquer that.
I wish everybody could just love each other and like forgive each other and everything. I get that it's not always perfect.
No.
But um, yeah. So I hope that at some point on Earth it's gonna be like perfect. But I don't think it's gonna happen. Um,
Anyway, this year, for everybody out there that is looking for love, is looking for relationship, it is the
yeah.
year. It is
Mhm.
2022. And if you add 2022 is equal 6, and 6 has to do with a lot of the relationship and love and companion, everything else.
Yeah.
So my message today is just go out there, find your other half, don't be afraid. And you
Yeah.
know what? And I actually said that in my last message too, is um, when we encounter challenges, I don't like to call them challenges. I like to call them
Hmm.
experiences,
Yeah.
because when we live the experience, we grow. And
We,
when we grow, we see life differently.
hmm.
Absolutely. You know, so
Yes.
I want to give my experience, I want to give my wisdom, I want to give the life that whatever I accumulated all this life, I'm
Yeah.
giving it. Whoever wants it, it's there and it's free. So guess what? You better grab it, because today is free. Tomorrow you never know.
Yeah, definitely. I have my mom, who you know very well, who's asking, is there anyone else in your family that has a gift like yours?
um, I don't know to what extent, but I know my grandmother used to
Hmm.
have visions.
Okay.
Um, all my siblings actually, they all have some sort of gift. But like my younger sister, she actually can see them too. But
Okay.
so again, fear is
Yeah.
blocking her. She doesn't want to open that. She trembles. She calls me. She said, "What do I do? How can I get rid of them?" I said, "Well, they know you can hear them. Why?"
Yeah.
But she's fighting. So I guess it's a battle that she's living. I can't, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, 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 we do.
Okay. Um, we have talked before about my gifts personally, but what? How would you explain to somebody who doesn't know about gifts, or the kind of experiences that we experience? Um, in terms of how would you explain Indigo Child, and yeah. Comment est-ce que tu expliquerais aux gens qui vivent pas les mêmes expériences que nous on vit? euh, Comment tu leur expliquerais c'est quoi un indigo child, ouais, un enfant indigo?
Tu sais quoi? Et cette question-là, ça m'a été posée plusieurs fois, même dans mes
Mhm.
lectures aussi. Mais les gens, c'est ou tu crois pas.
Oui.
Premièrement, on était choisis. Notre énergie, elle a été choisie.
Mhm.
Avant même qu'on rentre dans ce corps-là,
Oui.
pourquoi on veut venir sur Terre? Premièrement, ça dépend de notre énergie.
Mhm.
On revient sur Terre plusieurs fois, plusieurs fois. Il y a des gens qui croient ça, puis il y a des gens qui ne croient pas ça. Ça,
Mhm.
c'est, it's up to you. I leave it up to you.
OK.
Uh, the Indigo, moi, je suis un starseed. Moi, j'étais choisie pour venir en certain temps pour donner un message. Toi aussi, tu as été choisi de
Mhm.
venir dans un certain temps pour continuer le message. Parce qu'à un moment donné, nous, on va mourir. On
Ouais.
va quitter la terre. On va pas mourir. On meurt jamais. Notre esprit, elle meurt jamais. On va
Ouais.
juste aller dans une autre dimension où est-ce qu'on n'a pas besoin de ce corps-là. Tu
Ouais.
comprends? Alors, avant que notre esprit, elle rentre dans ce corps,
Mhm.
elle a déjà choisi, puis on a été choisi. Parce que l'énergie, plus que ton esprit vieillit, plus qu'elle monte, ton énergie, elle est plus élevée. Alors, plus que ton énergie est plus élevée, elle est choisie de venir sur Terre, dans le monde matériel, pour
Mhm.
guider les gens qui sont ignorants. Parce que les gens ici, ils ne savent pas pourquoi ils sont ici.
Mhm.
Demande à quelqu'un, si tu rencontres quelqu'un, demande, est-ce que tu sais pourquoi vous êtes ici? Hein? Élever les enfants? Oui, je suis sûre qu'on va élever les enfants. On est là pour faire de la production, les enfants et tout ça.
Ouais.
Pourquoi? Pourquoi ton esprit, ton énergie, pourquoi elle est ici?
Mhm.
What's your purpose? What are you here for?
Ouais.
And that's a lot of people are struggling. People come to see, what's my purpose, Mary? I look at them and said, love. What do you mean? Love. Just love everybody. Because when you love everybody, you can judge them. And when you love everybody, you want to do things for them. So
Yeah.
simple.
Okay.
It is really simple. But society,
Mhm.
our environment decided to put us in a lot of stress,
Yeah.
especially in North America.
Mhm.
We have a problem, consumption. We
Yep.
consume. Stop consuming. Stop
Mhm.
buying. Stop.
Yeah.
Some people have only maybe two pants and two blouses and maybe a pair of shoes.
Hmm.
Ask yourself, how many pair of shoes can you wear at the same time? One.
One.
How many blouses and how many shirts and how many this and how many that can you wear at the same time? One. Why
Hmm.
do we have 10,000 things that we don't need? Why do we have lockers that they're full of crap that we don't need?
Yeah.
We have a problem in North America. We need to learn. We need to let go.
Yeah.
We need to go back to nature. And that's why you, me, and all the indigo and the crystal and the star seeds, they've been put back here
Yeah.
to redirect humanity to the basic.
Yeah. So would
Which
you
means
say that would you say that Crystal Child and Indigo Child have the same work to do on Earth? Or would you say that they have some purpose that's like reserved for each other?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because your soul had decided, you've been chosen. It's like,
Mhm.
how can I explain this? A simple way.
Like what I've heard is that Indigo Child are here to, or maybe I'm mixing both of them, but like
It
Indigo
doesn't
Child are
matter.
here to destroy the walls that the society built, and then the other one is here to rebuild them.
They're both gonna be rebuilding.
Okay.
This,
So
I don't see it as destruction. I see it as a change to
yeah,
go back to simplicity.
yeah.
And
I always say we should go back to like riding like horses and stuff.
yes,
Like that's
absolutely. You know what?
yeah,
We had better air. But
we did.
we live in North America. My God, the distance are so far. And right now we have another crisis of gas and prices. So you know what?
Yeah,
How can we win?
yeah.
How can we win? What we need is all this light. I call them light worker, regardless if you're an
Mhm.
indigo, crystal, a star seed, it doesn't matter. We
Yeah.
all here to make a difference, to
Okay.
bring humanity to a better place. That's all we're here to do.
Is it possible for, so earlier you were explaining how a soul grows on the scale, we'll call it like that, the scale or the life of, anyways. So the soul grows higher and higher and higher, or up and up and up, and would it be possible for somebody that has an old soul to be reborn in a younger soul to help other people to grow?
Younger soul, no. A younger
Okay.
body, yes, but not
Okay.
a younger soul. No,
Okay.
no,
So they
that no.
would just be reborn with the same
You're
soul.
working on your soul because your
Yeah.
soul, it's a light. If you want to
Yeah.
see, it's really a light. Okay,
Yeah.
your light, you are responsible for it.
Mm-hmm.
So either you make it brighter, or
Yeah.
either you're just gonna destroy it. Okay,
Yeah.
but again, energy has been chosen. You have to understand.
Yeah.
Everything cannot be so good. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, everything is so bad. Like the energy, the greed, the hate,
Yes.
the battle. It's like we're doing this to each other. We don't
Mm-hmm.
understand what's going on anymore. So
Yeah.
we need to stop. We need to stop and we need to reflect.
We
And
do.
we need to go back to simplicity and
Yeah.
what's the purpose is really for.
Yeah.
Is it really for money and power? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not taking that with us.
And
We came to the world naked, and guess what? We're leaving naked.
that's true, though. That's true. We always go for.
So I tell people, love and share is the
Yeah.
best remedy for everybody to actually be happy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but when you make a difference in somebody's life and you see them that they're doing better, you should be happy. I don't know.
Mhm. And what do
Wonderful.
you, what in your personal work, when, well, personal, like when you work with somebody, do you tend to be like more towards love, life in general, or work, or do you do all of it? I know the answer to that, but like just to talk about you a little bit more, just
Catherine, everybody comes with their own needs.
yeah.
I cannot put a standard
Yeah.
because I deal with a lot of things like, and this has happened maybe I would say a good 10 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
had this client came to me, and um, she wanted to know why her mother hated her so much.
Mm-hmm.
Why her mother hated her so much.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into details, but the mother, she thought it was her mother. It wasn't her mother. It was her grandmother.
Okay.
And the sister that she thought that was her sister, it was actually her mother,
Yeah.
because her father raped her and she got
Wow.
pregnant. And back, way
That's
back,
crazy.
I'm talking maybe my grandmother's generation at this point.
Yeah.
And when she came to me and she presented me the photos of the family, and I start to, oh my God, I'm getting the, whew. um, when I saw the pictures of
Yeah.
the mother and this and the grandmother and the mother, like the real mother and the grandmother, and she was sitting, and I looked at her and I said, I'm gonna tell you something that I don't know if it's true or not, but you can do your research.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never heard anything, so I guess no news is good news. But this is one of the cases that it was like, oh my God. Another case is actually people came to me to find people that had disappeared.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I cannot put a standard to, everybody's different. Everybody's
Yeah.
needs are different. Yeah,
I always say when somebody asks me to help them spiritually, I always tell them that you may have a question in your head right now, but what I'm going to tell you is what you really need to hear.
you're
So,
absolutely right.
so it might not have anything to do about your question that you have right now, but it might have to do with something else that's bothering you that you're not actively thinking about it.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. You're absolutely right. Because
Yeah.
when they come to a light worker, is
Hmm.
they're looking for answers because they
Yeah.
need something.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe what they're coming for is not the time. It's not the time for them to receive their answer. But
Yeah.
there's other things that they've been lingering, but they're not paying attention to, that they need to
Yeah.
hear to be able to arrange or to put in place to actually get to where they want. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right on that. Yes.
Yeah. Because a lot of people are just asking, like, I mean, most people that get readings are asking me about, like, oh, what's my love situation? And I'm like, I know that this is what you want to know right now, but this is not always what you're getting out of
No,
a reading. So
that's
it's important to understand that you might go with some idea in your head that you're going to come out with an answer for, but it's not always the case.
no.
And pour tout le monde qui écoute présentement, en fait, ce qu'on vient de dire, c'est qu'on parle du fait que souvent, quand les personnes viennent pour une lecture de cartes, de tarot, une lecture de médium, souvent, ils ont une question en tête qui arrive avec au rendez-vous, mais finalement, la réponse qu'on leur donne, c'est totalement autre chose. Puis c'est pas ce à quoi eux, ils s'attendaient à. I'm trying to translate here, so...
Parce que des fois, les gens, ils arrivent parce il y a un problème spécifique qui existe au moment qu'ils viennent te voir.
Ouais.
Mais peut-être il y a autre chose alentour de eux
Mhm.
qui les autres ne voient pas, ou ils sont pas ou ils sont pas là parce qu'ils sont tellement concentrés à une seule problème qu'ils ne voient pas les autres. Alors quand ils viennent voir une travailleuse de lumière, qu'est-ce qui arrive? Que une travailleuse de lumière. On va allumer les autres choses. Alors, si tu veux arriver à qu'est-ce que tu viens demander aujourd'hui, mais il y a tout ça à faire pour que tu arrives à ça. C'est
Ouais. Puis, um, really oftenly, you can get a reading and you're going to get an answer, but depending on the choices you make after that, everything can change because the path is there's so many ways that you can get to a goal, and really often the goal can be different, like depending on which path you take. So, like that also can influence the reading. Um,
Absolutely. Certain things that, like, for example, if you're predicting a birth, which I have,
mhm.
date and month and everything, yes, these
Yeah,
are things that you have more chances of really happening. And even I did predict
yeah,
somebody passing too, and Uh,
Yeah.
but when it comes to relationships, and this is the honest truth, I'm sorry,
Hmm.
because you're dealing with two different energy. You're having a reading with somebody, but the other half of this somebody is somewhere else.
Yeah.
You understand? So, yes, you're giving a reading to that person, but
Hmm.
the other half, if they make a decision, what is going to affect what you're doing right now, or
It
if
is.
that person that having a reading
Hmm.
walk out of your place or her place, whatever, and they decide to do otherwise, well, then just, and I tell this to people. I said, I'm giving you this for today, for that time. I said, but any
Yeah.
decision change this energy. So
Yeah.
some people understand, some people don't, but you
Yeah.
cannot please everybody.
And it's often like around that time where I get the question like, for how long is this reading worth? Like they're gonna ask like, is it for like a space, the space of a year, like 12 months, 6 months, 9 months, like. And usually what I tell them is that I cannot know that. The reason why I cannot know that is because it depends on what you're gonna do with whatever I'm gonna tell you. So that's for them to.
Yes, but there's also a big factor.
Mhm.
Time does not exist.
That's true. Yeah.
Time exists only because we created the time. But
Yeah.
if we're gonna really talk about the energy and how things move and how
Hmm.
things come together, there's no time.
Yeah.
Time doesn't exist. And proof to that when we're asleep, when we are asleep, we can go into any period. We can go in the past, we can go in the present, we can go in the future, because we don't have a limitation. Time doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
That's true.
So when people give me time, I said, I cannot give you time because to me time doesn't exist. But if
Mhm.
you want a frame, so I'll frame it between a year or two, but this is just an estimate because time to me doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And time really doesn't exist.
And we have a question. So, have you ever been asked to use your gift for something outside of what you usually use it for?
No, never.
No.
And if I was, I will refuse.
Okay, that's cool. So, have you ever been asked to help in a murder case or
Oh,
lost
that yes.
case? Yeah.
I actually um I think it's back in 2004 or 2005.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that in Ottawa, there was a young girl that had disappeared. She used to work for Burger King, and she disappeared. She was coming home at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all over the newspaper. Her name was Jennifer Teague.
Okay, I
Well,
don't remember her.
it's been a while. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, it's been at least 15, 16 years, more
Okay,
than
so I
that.
probably won't remember then.
Not the world. But what happened is, I'll never forget that because it was
Mhm.
a Sunday, and I was preparing dinner for my in-laws, and we're sitting at the dinner table, and I see this blonde girl's face, and you have to understand, I could be anywhere and I see things. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting at the dinner table, and I'm seeing this blonde girl. It's like, I don't know you. I don't know you. So I looked at my ex and I said, "Did you read the newspaper?" Because he always read the newspaper. And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Did you see a photo of this girl that disappeared?" He
Yeah.
said, "No, it wasn't published. It wasn't published." I said, "Well, she's blonde and she has blonde hair to here."
Yeah.
That was a Sunday. Then the next day, it was a Monday morning, and I was working for National Defense at the time, and we had a
Okay.
big meeting, like a big meeting. So
Yeah.
I'm on the bus, and here she comes. I'm on the bus. And she's telling me, I am dead. This is the sign. So she showed me a big stones, gray stones. She showed me like a river or a water running with lots of stones around. She's showing me a highway over that. And I'm like, I'm baffled. I said, but what do I do with this? What do I do? Why I'm seeing this? Because I don't understand. I don't know this girl. I don't know her. I don't know why she's coming to me. So I
Yeah.
went to work, and I'm talking. We were outside the first part of the meeting, 350 people in the meeting. So we're outside having a break, and I'm talking to my friend, and I'm telling her what I saw on the bus. But all my friends knows, they know,
Yeah.
right? So she looked at me. She said, "Oh my God, Mary, you don't know, eh?" I said, "No, what?" She said, "Her parents are right here." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "They're military. They're right here. They're right here with us right now." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah." And there is a chief warrant officer that was working with us. And she said, "You have to tell him." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because he's the best friend of the family." So I'm standing there and I said, "What do I tell him? What do I tell him?" And he's right there behind me. So he puts his head and he says, "What do you want to tell me?" And I turned around and I looked at him and I said, "I don't know, but I think I have a message from Jennifer." And he looked at me and he said, "Tell me." So I told him what I saw.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he says, "I'm leaving." I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to call the detective." I said, "Please don't mention my name because then they're going to say, 'How do you know this?' And I don't want to go to the police and
Yeah.
it's just ruin the headache." So I said to him, I said, "Please don't mention my name. Just tell them it's a friend. She's a medium, but she doesn't, she wants to remain anonymous."
Yeah.
I think that was the 12th or something. Anyway, the 19th of September that year,
Yeah.
I'm walking into the office, and my friend that we used to work together, she
Hmm.
had cut all the article and she left it on my desk. And as I'm walking into the office, she looks at me and she said, "Mary, you hit the nail right on the head." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Go to your office, you're gonna see the newspaper." Catherine, when I saw the newspaper, I almost fainted. I dropped in my chair. Everything she told me, it was there. And they found her body.
That's crazy.
Crazy. I'm still baffled because I never had the vision so clear, man, so clear. She was
Yeah.
so detailed in her message that I don't understand how I picked all of that. Like, even me doing this for so many years, I still get surprised sometimes how some spirit are so determined
Yeah.
to really give you what they want to, for you to pass it on to whoever.
Hmm.
And it didn't stop there because she told me who he was. She told me what he looked like. And I described all of that. They did arrest him, but they didn't have enough evidence to put him in jail.
Okay.
2 years goes by. I'm sitting at my
Okay.
desk. She comes to me. I stop everything. When the spirit comes, she tell me something is like I go in the haze. I go like this. Like I'm in the la la land. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Oh, then she said, "They have to go back. They have to go back where they found my body. There's a knife, and on the knife, there's a fingerprint. And this is how he can go to jail. What do I do with this?" So I called that chief for an officer. He had retired. 2 years he had retired. So I called him up.
Yeah.
"What's up, Mary?" I said, "I have a message. It says you and your hocus pocus. What do you want now?" That's what he says to me. I said, "I have another message." She says, "Oh, here we go." So I told him, I said, "They have to go back. There's a knife." He said, "Mary,
Hmm.
you must be crazy. There was no knife whatsoever." I said, "Listen, don't kill the messenger. Why don't you just give the message to the parents?" Not even half an hour. He calls me back. He said, "I don't know how you know that." He said, "But she was abducted by the knife. But she showed me what he did to her too."
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. And since then, I closed that door. I don't want to work with the police. I don't want to see this. I don't want to get involved. I'm done.
Yeah. It must be
It,
really hard to like.
it
Um.
it's too much for me to handle sometimes.
Mhm.
So I don't want to go. I close the doors, and since I because I really wanted to work with the police to find people, but I had these two experiences, and the other one, it was years after. It was the guy that his name is Nail. I can't remember his first name, but he had disappeared. He lives in Ottawa. He went to Petawawa and he disappeared. And he used to work
Okay.
with my ex.
Okay.
And some friends of his that work with my ex asked if I can find him. He showed me the name of the street, the building. He was beaten. It was a drug deal that went bad. And
Okay.
he told me that he's buried 8 to 10 kilometers from that building.
That's precise.
Precise. I'm telling you, there's three times that I found bodies for the police, but
Yeah.
I don't want to go there anymore because I can't handle it. I can't see what they do before they kill them. I can't. I just can't. So
Yeah.
yes, and I don't know if this is answer your question, but yes.
Yeah, it does answer my question. Yeah, so and if you have a message right now for everyone that's going to watch this, because this is going to go on my YouTube channel later on. So people are going to be watching it at a later point. If you have anything to say in the moment right now that you feel is meaningful to anybody that could watch it, what would it be right now?
Let go of fear and have faith. And that's going to take you so further in life
Yeah.
that, I mean, it's two words really. It's some people gonna listen to that, it's just crazy, but no, because when we have faith, we can stand up for ourselves. When
Mm-hmm.
we have faith that nobody can actually move us and squash us, and right now humanity has been squashed by the leaders. We need to stand up for ourselves. We need to remove fear and put faith and love. Faith and love will go a long way for everyone.
Yeah.
That would be my big message for everybody tonight.
All right. Thank you, Mary. You can stay online. I'm just going to end the broadcast. We can talk afterwards. Um, but thank you for joining me today and talk about your gifts and about where you're from. And I hope this brings you really good connections. And I hope that everybody that watched today learned something about your work. And I really hope that whatever message you had to give them, it helped them in the moment.
I
So
hope so too. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you,
you're
Catherine.
welcome. You're welcome. So bye everybody, and Mary, I'll talk to you after the broadcast. And
Blessing to everybody.
yeah.